Have you ever wondered why bad things happen to good people? It is one of humanity's oldest and most painful questions. We usually live with the impression that the universe works according to a simple equation. If you are good, you receive good. If you are bad, you receive bad. We call this justice, or karma, or the principle of retribution. But what do you do when the equation fails? What do you do when reality hits you for no reason? Today, I want to talk about the wisdom of Job, a story thousands of years old that blows up everything we thought we knew about how God runs the world. It is not just a story about patience, as we have often heard, but a brutally honest lesson about suffering and trust. Let's start at the beginning. Let's meet Job. Job is presented as a man of integrity, honest, wealthy, and incredibly good. He is the ideal case. But in a rapid and shocking succession of events, Job loses everything. He loses his wealth, he loses all his children in a storm, and he loses his health. He is left in the dust, sick, alone, and heartbroken. This is where his friends enter the scene. They come to visit him and represent, in fact, the voice of common thinking. They tell Job something we might have thought ourselves. Look, Job, God is just. The world is just. If you are suffering so terribly, it means that somewhere you did something horrible. Maybe you have hidden sins. Confess and ask for forgiveness. Their logic seems ironclad. Suffering is proof of guilt. But the story tells us a secret right from the start that the friends don't know. They are wrong. Job is innocent. And this creates a huge tension in our minds. If Job is good and God is just, why is Job suffering? Job refuses to accept his friend's logic. He knows who he is. And instead of bowing his head, Job does something extremely courageous. He demands a trial. He rebels. He shouts his pain toward the heavens and demands that God come and explain to him why the universe is unfair. Job believes that if God is in charge, he has either fallen asleep at the wheel or he isn't driving correctly, according to the rules of justice. And here we learn the first important lesson. Job is honest. He pours out his pain. He doesn't hide it under a mask of false piety. He asks why. The climax of the story is when finally God answers. He appears in a storm, but surprise, he doesn't come with a list of explanations. He doesn't tell him, Job, you suffered because of reason X or Y. Instead, God takes Job on a virtual tour of the universe. He asks him rhetorical questions. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Can you command the sun to rise? Can you feed the lions? God shows him the complexity of the cosmos. He shows him places in nature where man has never stepped. He shows him wild animals that Job cannot master, like Behemoth and Leviathan, symbols of chaos and danger. God's message is shocking but profound. Job, you want to judge the world by your human standards of simple justice. But my world is much more complex. It is good, but it is also wild. It is ordered, but it also contains chaos. God shows him that he manages this vast universe in a way that the human mind simply cannot encompass. God's order does not always mean immediate safety for us. So, what is the conclusion? What is the wisdom of Job? Job didn't get the answer to the question, why did I suffer? But he received something much more valuable, the presence of God. He realized that he had tried to reduce God's infinity to a human equation. The book ends with Job regaining everything, even double. But that is not the real reward. The reward is Job's inner transformation. He says, my ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you. The lesson we take home is this. When life collapses and you don't understand why, when you feel wronged, don't try to simplify things with false explanations, as Job's friends did. Sometimes there is no clear reason that we can see. True faith true wisdom does not mean knowing exactly how the mechanisms of the universe work. It means trusting the one who drives it, even when you are going through a storm. It means having the courage to ask God questions, but also the humility to accept that His plan is beyond your understanding.